Dear students, so today in this video we will be talking about the Kingdom Monera. Kingdom Monera, right? You remember? In the year 1969, Robert Whittaker has brought about five kingdom classification system, and according to that five kingdom classification system, all the living beings of this world on this earth, they are classified as first kingdom Monera. Monera. This is kingdom of the living world. Kingdom. This kingdom Monera. The second one is Protista. Monera, Protista, then Congar, then Plante, and the last one is Animalia. So these are the five kingdoms of living world. All the living beings, they are classified as Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plante, and Animalia. Right. Now today we will be talking about the kingdom Monera. I told Monerans the very first thing about Monera. This is the characteristic feature of Monera. Their body is made up of only one cell. Body is just one cell. Means they are unicellular life forms. Means you see our body is made up of some 8 to 9 billion cells. 8 to 9 billion cells, they combine together and form our body. Similarly, all the living beings which are grouped in kingdom Monera, their body is made up of just one cell. One cell. Now, with this, you can imagine their size. I have told you that the size of the cell is measured in micrometer. Micrometer or simply micron. So, what will you say? The second thing about their size, you can say that they are microscopic. Microscopic. That means in day-to-day life, in normal life, you'll not able to see them with the help of your naked eye. As you come across some plants, the other animals like dogs, cat, mosquitoes, ants, but they are so small that you cannot see them with your naked eye. To see them, you need a microscope, a device that helps us to look into that particular size of the living beings which are very small, right? The the third characteristic feature of monerans is that this cell is primitive. This cell, though it is made up of one cell, the cell is primitive. Primitive. Primitive means underdeveloped cell. It is not completely developed. It is underdeveloped cell. Right. So the cell is primitive, and what is the requirement? Why it is called? The cell is primitive, or you can say prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell. Here you must know what is a prokaryotic cell. A prokaryotic cell is such a cell. A prokaryotic cell is such a cell whose nucleus can't be defined. can't be defined. This means further explanation for you that if this is the cell, in a normal cell you just make a sphere and say this is nucleus. But this monoclonal cell you will not able to say this is nucleus, right? Here you can understand it better. You see my fingers, you can easily see one, two, three, four, five fingers. Right? If these five fingers they come together, if they come together, what have they formed? They form the fist. Fist. Right? This structure is called fist. And who made the fist? This one, two, three, four, five different parts, five different fingers, right? Now you see, if I show you this structure and ask what is this, your answer obviously will be is fist, right? And the things which made this fist they are present there, but they have come together, they are confined, they are in a collective state. But you see, if I open this, now those things which made the fist they have gone apart and scattered, not together. Now can you tell me where is the fist? Now there is no fist. But the things which made the fist, are they present there? Yes. The things, which things made that fist? These fingers made the fist. So these fingers are present there, but you cannot say that fist is there. Right? Similarly, the materials which make the nucleus, they are present inside the cell, but they are scattered somewhere in the cell plasma. Do you follow? They are scattered throughout the cytoplasm. And these fingers from the fist, they are scattered now. Now you cannot show the fist. Though the materials which made the fist, they are present here, but you cannot show the fist. Do you follow? So similarly, in such a cell, you will not be able to show where is the nucleus. That is, nucleus is not defined. You cannot locate the nucleus. And such a cell is called as a prokaryotic cell. Pro meaning primitive, underdeveloped. Right? Karyo is taken from the word karyon, which means nucleus. Karyon means nucleus. So, a primitive nucleated cell. The meaning of this prokaryotic cell, a cell with a primitive nucleus means the nucleus which is not well defined. Right? So, this is very important aspect to know that all mononeurons they don't have a well-defined nucleus in the cell. And next very important aspect that you must note down, one more organelle, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Is powerhouse of the cell, and its function is to oxidize the nutrients in the cell to release energy, and that energy can be used by the cell to carry out various activities. Clear? So see, this mitochondria is absent. Absent. Remember this. Mitochondria, the organelle mitochondria also is absent in case of mononeurons, right? What about their nutrition? Nutrition. Some of them are autotrophic and some may be heterotrophic. When I say some of them are autotrophic, that means they are green in color, right? So some of them are autotrophic and some of them they may not be green like plants, they may not have the chlorophyll, that traps the sun's light to synthesize food, right? So some of the Monarans, some of the members of this kingdom Monera, they are autotrophic like the plants, green plants, and some of them are heterotrophic like we the animals. Clear? And next thing comes, where do they live? Where is their dwelling place? Where do they live? Right? Where do they live is important thing. Where do they live? They can live anywhere, possible, any possible habitat. Any habitat is the living place. Any place where anybody can live, they be found there. They can be found living there. So where will you find them? Most of them are found nearly the dampness where there is availability of water, because water is life. Without water, there is no possibility of life. Right? So they prefer to live at the places where they have sufficient moisture or dampness or required amount of water, right? So they can be found on the surface of your body, they can be found on your head, they can be found on your face, they can be found on your palm, they can be found on the ground, they can be found on the mobile phone you use, they can be found on the book, anywhere in the air, in the soil, in the water. Their habitat, you can say, they are nearly found in all possible, any possible habitat, you can say them. The next important thing about them is, the eighth important thing about them you must know, how do they reproduce. When you read about a kind of living being, so these are certain things that you must know. So I will tell you in the next topic when I will start the discussion. But you see, how do they reproduce? They generally reproduce by binary fission. By binary fission. They generally reproduce by binary fission, right? That is their normal feature of reproduction, right? And another important aspect about the monerans is, they generally can withhold extremes of ambient conditions. They, in general, can withstand extremes of ambient conditions. Right. So these are the features. So what kind of living beings will you keep in the group of Monera? Those living beings whose body is made up of just one cell. And I have told you regarding the size of the cell. Cell is very small. It cannot be, its dimensions, its length and breadth cannot be expressed in meter or centimeter. It is expressed in micrometer or simply the micro. So what? Body is just one cell. Means they are unicellular. If their body is made up of only one cell, my body is made up of somehow 9 billion cells. Do you follow? Similarly, the body of this moneron is made up of just one cell. Regarding, because of that one cell, their size becomes microscopic. You cannot see them without the help of a microscope. The cell is primitive. The cell that is making their body, that is primitive, means not well developed cell. Even cell is not properly developed. Properly developed means it is not having all the possible or required organelles in it, right? And the cell, as it is not well developed, what is the main feature? the cell is prokaryotic, means nucleus you cannot locate in it, though the nucleic material is present scattered throughout the cytoplasm. A second thing is it lacks mitochondria. Now regarding the mode of nutrition, some of them can carry out photosynthesis like the plants, and some of them they are heterotrophic in the mode of nutrition, and they generally depend on other living beings for their nourishment, say for that is they may be parasite, they may be saprotrophic decomposers, like that they are consumers generally. So some of them are autotrophic, they can carry on photosynthesis like green plants, while some of the members of this group they are heterotrophic like animals. And I have told you in the beginning why we brought five kingdom classification system. This was the problem that some of them, where would have kept? This is feature of plant, this is feature of animal. Confused, right? So we made another kingdom. Where do they live? Any possible habitat. They can live in any possible habitat that you can say can accommodate them. Then what is the mode of reproduction? Binary fission. Binary fission, suppose this is the cell. A constriction developed like this. Gradually this deepens. Again further it deepens and it touches, and this way this one individual breaks into two. That's why by meaning two. So this individual breaks into two. That's why, and fission is meaning of the word fission is splitting into two. So generally the mode of reproduction in case of monerans is the body of the individual splits into two, and hence this their mode of reproduction is called binary fission. Binary meaning bi meaning two. And the last feature is that some of them if you keep in boiling water they are not going to die. Some of them if you are keeping in deep water they are not going to die. Some of them can resist the chemicals even in acids if you keep they are not going to die. If the temperature goes to say 50-60 degree, human beings will start dying, but these living beings they will not die. They can withstand extremes of ambient or surrounding conditions. Is that clear to all of you? So in this video we read about the feature of monerans. Next we will read about one example that is about bacteria in the monerans. Okay, thank you, take care.